Hey everyone, Moon360s here, taking a look at the new Android 5.0 Lollipop update for the 2014 Motorola Moto G. Motorola started rolling out the updates to the 2014 Moto G Unlocked US version and also to the 2014 Moto X Pure Edition on Wednesday, November 12th. The first Gen Moto G and Moto X will also get the update very soon, so it shouldn't take long if you have the unlocked version of those devices. Carrier devices usually take longer, but still, big thumbs up to Motorola for committing to their timely Android updates, especially now under the ownership of Lenovo. And I believe I got the update even before a lot of the Nexus devices, so that was really cool. And so I got it installed that night, and it took about an hour or so for the entire update process to complete, but that was definitely worth the wait since the Moto G was already an amazing phone. But with the addition of Lollipop, it makes it even more spectacular. So if you own Moto G, you can go to the settings to check for a new update, and hopefully you can be prompted with this message when you do so, telling you to upgrade to Lollipop. But yes, we have tons of new features in Lollipop, so I'll try to cover most of the major ones here in the video, but please still let me know in the comments if I missed any. So to start, I'll prove to you guys I have the official Android 5.0 update, and I will also show you guys the new Easter egg found within Lollipop, and it's the best Easter egg yet in my opinion, especially if you hated or loved Flappy Bird. So settings, about phone, Android version 5.0, and when we repeatedly tap on the version number, we get different colored lollipops, and when we hold one of the lollipops, we are greeted with a game of Flappy Bird Android 5.0 Lollipop Edition. It's kind of fun. I believe my high score was a 4, but anyways, let's get started with the changes in the notifications department. So now in Android 5, we have notifications that appear on the lock screen. They are cards, and you can double tap to interact with it, clear it away by swiping, or in this case, I can pull down to expand and get a sneak peek at the content of this notification. Of course, you do have the option to not display the notification on the lock screen simply by going to the settings. As you can see, now there's an entire department of settings dedicated to sound and notifications. You can scroll to the bottom and you can see under when device is locked, you can choose to show all notification content or choose don't show notifications at all. One of my favorite new enhancements made to the notifications is now you can decide on an app-by-app basis which apps trigger notifications and which ones don't. On previous versions, you can access the same thing, but they're tucked away in individual app settings. Not very easy to find, but here in Android 5, we have a dedicated dashboard for all things notifications. So for example, if you hate the CNN app for sending you all the so-called breaking news alerts, you can click on App Notifications. It shows you an alphabetical list of all your installed apps, and you can specifically choose CNN and toggle the block option on to never show notifications from this app. On the other hand, if you really care about getting the notifications from Gmail, you can capitalize on its importance by toggling priority on this way, so when another email comes in, it will get promoted to the top of the list. So this brings me to another point, and that is what exactly are priority notifications. So now in Lollipop, you get 3 modes to manage your notifications. You can choose to let all notifications through, priority notifications only, and you'll see a start in the status bar to show in that it's turned on, or none, no interruptions at all, not even your alarms. So when it comes to priority notifications, you have the option to consider if events and reminders are notifications, as well as calls and messages. For calls and messages, you can further choose if calls and messages from anyone is priority or only from certain contacts. And if you don't want to turn priority mode on manually, you can set a specific time and date, also known as downtime, so the machine can do it for you automatically. Another addition I really enjoy is the heads-up notification, which shows small pop-up alerts at the top of the screen. So for example, if you are watching a video and a text comes in, it'll show the content as a card at the top of the screen without even opening the application at all. So that's a nice touch, and that's all the new features notifications-wise in Lollipop. Perhaps the most obvious change is the new fresh design of the user interface, and it's called Material Design. It changes pretty much everything when it comes to how the operating system looks. Right off the bat, you can see the on-screen back, home, and recent app buttons have transformed into a triangle for back, circle for home, and the square is the new recent apps button, officially known as Overview. I'll get into multitasking in a second, but in material design, it's very dynamic. Everything responds to your touch. For example, when you scroll to the end of a page, you get a transparent gray shading, and you press a button, you can see a shading on the screen that sort of radiates outward, telling you the device has registered your touch. So little things like this really makes the device more fun and enjoyable to use. Another big aspect of material design are the animations. Animations are everywhere. For example, when you press the app drawer icon, you get a nice smooth explosion effect. Also, when you swipe from the home button up to get to Google Now again, you see that nice smooth animation. Another example would be in the notifications shade. When I slowly swipe down, you can see the time is gradually getting bigger, and also the battery percentage and the settings icons are slowly fading in, providing you with that those smooth transitions. But what you'll notice especially is that material design uses bright, rich colors. For example, in the settings, we get that green and white color scheme. And also in some apps like Twitter, for example, you get a blue theme at the top of the screen for the status bar. The same thing goes for Play Music, where you'll get an orange theme at the top. So definitely across the board improvements in terms of design. It truly makes the OS, in my opinion, more playful and pleasurable to use. As I was saying before, multitasking got a lot better in Lollipop. Instead of the list view, when you press the overview button, we get a stack of cards that show your recent applications. Overview also incorporates your recent tabs from Chrome, so that's a nice touch. So love the new multitasking abilities, but as of right now, you cannot clear all of your recent tasks at once. So now you have to swipe each card away individually. Also in Android 5.0, we have new device sharing capabilities. We have the option now to add additional user profiles for a family member, for example, and there's also a guest mode available as well. So if you're lending your phone to someone, you'll be assured that they won't see your private content. So pretty self-explanatory, awesome feature for multiple users especially. There also is something called screen pinning, when you can lock a particular screen so someone else won't be able to explore the rest of your device. You can do that by clicking the pin icon in the overview page. And to exit screen pin, all you have to do is hold the back and overview buttons at the same time. The quick settings have also been revamped. One finger to access your notifications, two fingers to see quick settings. So a nice clean interface. We get a nice big brightness slider and the usual Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, screen rotation, etc. But we do get the addition of a flashlight, which is pretty useful in low light conditions. For battery, Lollipop adds a new battery saver mode, which clocks down the CPU, limits vibrations, reduces the ambient light, and turns off background data when your device needs a little extra juice. You can turn it on manually or program it to turn on automatically when your battery drops too low, and Google says it can add up to 90 minutes of extra life. I also like how in Lollipop, when you plug your charger in, it tells you exactly how long it will take for the device to be fully charged. Likewise, it also tells you the approximate time remaining for your battery life. After the update, I think the battery did get a little bit better thanks to Project Volta, so there aren't any battery drainage issues, which is a good thing. Most likely, if you update it, the battery life will stay the same, if not better. We also have a new way to unlock your device thanks to Android Lollipop. It's called Smart Lock, that uses any compatible Bluetooth device, such as a Bluetooth smartwatch, to automatically unlock your phone. When you enable it in the settings, your phone will automatically unlock when it's close to the Bluetooth device. When you're too far away from it, your PIN, password, or pattern lock will switch back on. So pretty useful, since you don't have to type in your password 20 times a day. We do have new Lollipop wallpapers as well. They're pretty abstract and contain material design looks. Also, the Google Now page is now part of our home screen on the Moto G. Other little technical enhancements are the new Art Android runtime, which improves performance and responsiveness in your apps, so lag is definitely not a big issue. And the Moto G is more than capable of handling Lollipop, although lag still does exist from time to time. So that's really it for all the new features in Android 5.0 Lollipop. I'll leave an entire library of links below, the like button in the description, that you'll find useful if you want to see the entire changelog for Lollipop, or if you're curious when will your Motorola device receive Lollipop. All that and more are in the description. So probably the best, most improved version of Android. I think it's definitely a must install for anyone that have the ability to do so. So many new awesome features.